Hello, footies, and welcome back to FUT in Review, episode 730. My name is John, and I'll be your host of today. And today we're asking the big question: will you answer the call? We're fresh off the back of a massive FUT Birthday celebration, possibly the most meta 2 weeks we've seen all year. But as a new Answer the Call promotion drops, we have to wonder: is there any gas left in the tank before Team of the Season? Tonight, we are breaking down the players flooding the market, the impact of customizable playstyles, and a serious look at the cooling climate of esports. And of course, I can't do this alone. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, not wearing blue, but he's definitely still Mr. Blue to me. It's none other than Graeme Homer. Welcome back, Graeme.
Thanks for coming back, John.
You're right, buddy.
Slightly under the weather, but I'm soldiering on. What about yourself?
Yeah, you're looking sharp though. I'm a bit the same. That annoying cold just keeps popping back. And it's pretty annoying when your job is actually podcasting and you can hardly talk half an hour straight without coughing or actually sneezing. So
I feel, yeah.
Lots of tea, and I'm gonna let you do most of the talking today. Oh, I had so much fun preparing this. But then we had some internet issues and we have a computer issue with Art, who was supposed to be the third host today. So we're going to do this a little bit different today. But we are going to start the show off, of course, as always, with the pre-match. And this pre-match will be all about how has your week in FUT been. So I hear the referee kickoff. Here we go. Graeme, your week in FUT. How have you enjoyed FUT Birthday?
I've enjoyed it because it's one of these rare promos where none of the cards are bad cards per se, because you're not hindered by a playstyle that you necessarily wouldn't want. So, like we discussed, Vincent Company last week having Power Shot, and it's a waste of a slot, realistically, for a player who's a defensive player. So, being able to tailor your players to your own style, your own desire, it's been refreshing. It's been nice. I think 2 weeks was just enough time.
Yeah,
I don't think you could go 3, 4, or 5 weeks constantly getting a new card and having to build it up. So I think it was the right amount of time. Nice idea, and hopefully that's one stored for a good while now, maybe till next cycle of the game. But I enjoyed it. I got all the players that I pretty much wanted, bar Valverde from Team 1. My team's looking really good, plays really well, so it's been a positive for me.
That's good to hear, though. That's good to hear. So just to take a deep dive into the content straight away then, if you enjoyed it. Also, let us know what you thought about FUT Birthday. Drop it in the comments, and especially on Spotify. We'll be back with you ASAP. We'll see those comments pop up, and we'll definitely let you know what we think about it. So, Graeme, this week we have a new promotion called Answer the Call, and it's all about the World Championship. But we're still in March. So what's going on here?
So it's part 2 of FC's Festival Football. So we had the National Captains one near the start of the game cycle. This one is tailored towards the World Cup coming up. So Answer the Call, it's called, and it's basically if you get any of these cards and they are called up for their national team, then they'll get a boost. So they'll get a +1 overall, an extra playstyle plus, and they'll be given the ++ rolls for all their positions. Quite a filler promo, in my opinion, just because we had such
not holding back tonight, are you?
No, just because we had such a big promo in FUT Birthday. FUT Birthday's like one of the big 5 for me, and given that it was so expressive and expansive, this one is it's a little bit weird given we have exactly 2 months until the World Cup squads are announced, so the players are a bit they're usable, but the upgrade part of it's a bit weird given that it is 2 months. So it's one of the ones that come Team of the Year, these will be forgotten about until the end of Team of the Year. So it's a weird one.
Yeah, you said to me like these get promoted or these get boosted whenever they get called up for the national team. But I thought that might be for the friendlies or for the remaining matches, right? But this is actually for the... When is the date they get this? You said May.
May the 20th is when the squads have to be announced. So obviously some will be announced prior to that, but that's the cut-off point. They all have to be in by that time, the 20th of May.
Mm-hmm.
So but going by their press release that they put out on the website, it all hints at the World Cup. It doesn't really actually nail on what call-up it's for. It doesn't say the friendlies or the World Cup, but everything sort of hints towards the actual World Cup. It would be good if they were a bit more clear on that. But there is some towards, we'll get in some SBCs towards the playoffs and what call-ups are coming up recently. But like I said, it pretty much looks like the actual World Cup.
Yeah, looking at the cards themselves, these are already pretty good cards. They're also, almost everyone is quite expensive as well.
Yeah, there's not many cheap ones there at all. Very few under 100,000 coins.
Araujo and probably Spinazzola.
Yeah, Amrabat as well.
Stiller is about 100k, so that's decent. But we have Gravenberg at 1.9 million. We have Bellingham at 9.3 million.
Yeah, they two look fantastic cards. I think they're probably the best attacking and best defensive centre mids or CDM cam partnership you could probably get in the game at the moment.
Yeah. You know, these cards look great, but having them upgrade in like 2 months, it feels like a letdown. Like you said, it feels like a filler promo. And Nathan in chat says any promotion after this FUT Birthday promo will be a letdown.
Yeah,
it's hard to follow up, eh?
Yeah, I said in Discord, like I said before, I'm a massive wrestling fan. So in wrestling, there's matches you call the toilet break match. So after you have a big match and everybody's hyped up and they're like, oh, that was amazing, they'll generally have a lesser match that brings the mood back down, gets everybody a bit more relaxed, back ready for the next big match that'll hype them up and make them loud again. So like I said, it's a sort of a toilet break match.
Fill-up promo. Title of this podcast.
A fill-up promo.
Toilet break promo.
Yeah, it's just one of the ones where it's to chill the temperature of the game, the community. Like I said, FUT Birthday for me personally, I think for a lot of people, it was really good promo. This one just brings us all down a bit. And then from what I can gather, it's only a 1 week promo, and then we're going to be looking at team of the season build up. So yeah, this will bring us all down a bit, and then next week or whatever, 2 weeks down the line, team of the season will start hyping us all back up again. Is
this a promo that will make you take a break or slow things down?
No, I'll still keep playing personally. Like I said, FC is my football fix. I can't physically play anymore, which pains me so much. So this is my outlet for playing football. So there's some good objectives and everything. So I think I'll still keep playing, but my desire to hope or get a big pool won't be. My week won't be so dependent on getting such a big card. That I'll be happy if I get one, but I'm happy just to keep playing and grind towards whatever's next.
Yeah. How critical can we be on playstyles on these cards? Because last week we can actually build them. And I know some people didn't like the whole baking stuff, but they rather just buy the bread straight out of the shop. But if I look at some of these cards, the playstyles are sort of hit or miss.
Some of them, yeah. I was looking at Jude Bellingham there. To be honest, that he's got pretty much every playstyle you sort of want for a central midfielder.
For 10 million. I mean,
yeah.
He should have.
I'm looking at Harry Maguire. Maybe swap his Anticipate for Bruiser Plus rather than Silver. But his playstyles are really good as well. Like everything you really want for defender. Maybe a quick step to help his pace a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've looked at quite a few of them, and I can't say like Joel Neves has got a weird one. He's got Aerial Fortress. Like, he's a tiny wee central midfielder. Like, does he really need Aerial Fortress? That's what I said. That was part of my thing about FUT Birthday. Like, Vincent Kompany having power shot. Yeah, he scored that screamer like a few seasons ago. Well, quite a long time ago, actually. But it's just a weird one to put on a player. Joel Neves having Aerial Fortress is a bit strange, but I said you can't go every promo where you bake them all. So it's nice to have some cards that are really clearly the good cards, and then some that are obviously pack fillers. You can maybe do something with them later down the line.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when it's 2 months before, like when these cards get upgraded, it's team of the season time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And you're basically buying a card now that will be getting better in 2 months. That never feels right for me to put my money in. Especially when at that time it's team of the season and you just get them by playing Weekend League. So.
Yeah, I think some like a lot of them are pretty decent. That they'll get into a lot of teams, but I think a lot of them do really require that extra boost, which you're not going to get for 2 months. So I think it's one of the it's like sort of trader's paradise here, like for investments, like because you're going to be playing the long game with them. But I think you can get some short term fun at them and some long term fun at them. It just depends on who you get or who you buy. But I have said it before. I think it's maybe one that was probably better just before the national teams were getting called up.
Closer to it, yeah?
Yeah, but given that you can call a national team pretty much after these next fixtures, anywhere between the end of this month to the 20th of May, I think they've gambled on, because there's going to be friendlies in the playoffs, you can get them out now rather than gambling that you put them out and somebody's already called a squad and cards are sort of defunct with that whole risk reward bit on it.
Yeah.
I would prefer if it was more close at the time, but I can see why they've done it now.
Well, like, I don't dislike the promo, but I look at it and I'm like, oh, wait, Xavi Simons, oh, he looks pretty cool, 600k. Ooh. You know? Because it gives other players with the same nationality a boost, I think.
Yeah, they get +2.
+2. So that is pretty cool. But it's more cool for, like, say, a Conte, right? Which plays in a league that isn't very popular. But if you can boost all the French players, that might actually be helpful that way.
Yeah.
Especially if you also have another French player with him to do so. And there might be an SBC we have to discuss shortly as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that will automatically sort of correct that one. But then still, Conte is 1.9 million. So, you know, it's not really that I'm like, it's worth spending it. Like, I'm not sure if it's not very interesting. And again, are there goalkeepers in here?
There's a few goalkeepers. There's Liam Kelly that plays for Rangers in Scotland.
Oh, really?
Yep. David Raya, playing in Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
That was off the top of my head. I'm just checking to see if there is any other ones. I think it's only them two, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Raya and Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly could be cool, actually, looking at it.
If he had like work, I think he would be better than far long throw, but there's also that possibility of that becoming a plus if he does get called up.
If you're buying like one card here, Graeme, which card would you just get? Either because it's such good value, or you know he's going to get that boost, or to you, or just because it's such a silly good card like Bellingham.
So biased, straight away I'd be getting Liam Kelly from a Rangers team. But out of that one, if I could get a Graven back, I really love to look at him. I think he's going to get called up pretty easily. I think he's probably the best holding midfielder in the game. Probably the best deep line playmaker as well. So if I could get any card, that would be the one I would really, really want.
I can imagine. I think Spinazzola is actually a really cool shout. Really dropping hard in value currently, 38k.
Yep.
Really cool stats as well. You'll get a boost. And yeah, for that money, you could actually have a decent left back. But then again, how many people use Italian players currently in the current meta? Yeah, there's that as well, right?
I think only me with my Bastoni from FUT BIRTHDAY. If Spinazzola had a right back position on it, I'd be happy with him. I just don't like these 4-star right-footed left back. So I'd rather my left back.
That's a fair point, actually.
Left-footed, or if he could play right back, maybe he's only 89 rated, so an Evo could possibly come out that could fix that for me. That's the only reason why I didn't mention him ahead of Gravenbach. But otherwise than that, he is a really solid player. Like, great stats, great potential. Playstyles are pretty good.
For 30k.
Yeah.
Right. We do have an SBC. That might be worth discussing.
Yeah.
Talking about the French one. Cherki. Or Cherki. I don't know how to pronounce it, honestly. Comes in at 165 currently. 90 rated right wing. He probably gets called up, right?
I think he has to. Between him and Elise. I don't think there's many other right wingers that are
Dembele, maybe
more as a striker. Barcola and Desiree Doué. You're going to be taking about 4 or 5 attacking players. So
look at that squad, by the way. Talking about France,
yeah.
It's like Mbappe, but he could also play right wing. But he probably play striker. But we have Dembele, who's right winger, but he probably should play striker. Then we have Sheki. We've got it's insane.
Yeah, no, there's just so many talented players. I reckon for his versatility, because he can play left, right, and through the middle. I really do think Cherki could, but he's a nice card. He's
5-star, 5-star.
5-star, 5-star. He's got good play styles. Lacks finesse for me, if I'm being critical.
Fair.
But he can play right mid and cam, so he could be a super sub if you're sort of lacking in that area.
Could do, should do, must do.
I'd say could do. If you've got the fodder lying about, or you need somewhere to dump the fodder, and you don't want to gamble on an icon or whatever, I'd say him because he's obviously.
I left the option don't do it out of the table there. Sorry.
Yeah. Could do for me. Like just said, it's guaranteed reward. So if you're looking for something to dump fodder into your duplicates or whatever,
can't go wrong here, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
People in chat said it's going to be Sa. There's no way Czechia goes in. So there's that as well. But I think this card of 150, 160k at his current form is worth it. Yeah. Even if he doesn't get an upgrade at this stage of the game, 5-star, 5-star right wing for 150, 160k. I accept the finesse, but everything else I think is pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I said. If I was being highly critical, lack of finesse is the big thing. But even if it doesn't go called up, he's only 90 rated. So the way that Evils have been going, give it a couple of weeks and he should be Evils available to push him. So at worst, if you do him with your fodder, your duplicates, and he doesn't get called up, you should be able to Evo him and it's something better. He is small and he's quite slight. He's explosive, so
sounds like me.
He's quite Pienaar-esque in a way. So it should be a good card to play with, a fun card at least.
Definitely, 92 composure is also pretty cool in the card like this. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it's a must do, but I definitely say it's so. I can recommend doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Anything else you want to discuss content wise?
There was a new Evo dropped. This is the national captains. It's 500,000 coins or 1,500 points. But it's max 89 for centre midfielder, and you can make them an icon chemistry. 93 rated midfielder. Depending on what playstyles you've got on it, you get obviously some different ones. But if your card's basic, you'll get an intercept, incisive, and a power shot gold, and you'll get anticipate and finesse as your silvers added on. it is one of the more pricier ones, but I think for what it is, it could transform some of your cards into an absolute beast. I'm seeing some of the ones like Cambiasso, who just came out, fits for it, and I think he looks absolutely amazing. And then once you have done that, there's a secondary evolution. It's the national captain final touches that adds a little bit more onto them, gives them the plus for the rolls, adds a few more silver playstyles like ping pass, tiki tika, bruiser, technical, first touch, and quick step. So if you don't get a Graeme back, you're pretty much
build your own one.
Yeah, pretty much you're going to get an absolute beast.
I'd go for this instead of spending 2 million or 10 million for a Bellingham.
Yeah, that's probably the more financial option, better one going forward wise. But if you get Bellingham, you're not going to complain either.
No. And if you are complaining when you get Bellingham, let us know. We might highlight it on the show.
Yeah.
A pretty cool Evo. I think the promo is a little bit mad, but that's also because of the do with the FUT Birthday being just in front of this. Plus, there's a high waiting list time for the actual upgrades possibilities.
Yeah.
Maybe next week, but probably more in about 2 months after the season. Yeah. I think that's a little bit of I would rate this like a 6 out of 10 promo. Not bad cards, but I definitely not going to buy a pack for it, let alone grind the game extra because what's in there?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same. I'd probably went 5, but I think you're a bit more positive there, so I'd agree 6.
We'll go with 5.5 then.
Yeah, meet in the middle.
We'll meet in the middle. Talk about in the middle. We have reached halftime, and I think it's time for us to do our little halftime entertainment. Our halftime entertainments always be the top 5, my friend. While my voice starts collapsing, that's a good thing you make the list here. So the top 5, I'm going to give you a certain statement or an option or something else. And you have to rate that from 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Of course, once you place something in the position, you won't be able to change it anymore. And you will not know what's coming next. And because we talk about the World Cup, our dear friend Neil has prepared a World Cup game for you today. Namely, the top 5 best World Cup goals. And as a super football enthusiast you are, Graeme, you probably know all these goals. So, I'm going to start with one that you guys hold very dear. Archie Gemel, 1978 versus the Netherlands. We're going to rate that one.
Oh, that's a good one to start with. I'm going to go 2.
Could be good. Could be good, my friend. Then I'm going to ask you the Carlos Alberto 1970 goal versus Italy.
I'll go 3 with that one.
3. Oof. Why that?
It's a cracking goal. It's a good team build up. It's a cracking strike. Is it the best goal? No, but is it the worst goal as a whole? No, either. So I'm going to hedge my bet and put it. I think I could put 4 in it. I could be doing it justice as well. So I'll go 4.
You go 4.
I'll hedge my bets.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to ask you Maradona 1986 versus England.
The hand of God.
Yes, sir.
I'll put it 5 just because it's cheating. And that's not because I'm Scottish, because I'm not even the biggest Scottish national team fan. I don't mean Scotland for rugby, but for football, I don't even really support Scotland. But 5 just for the sheer fact that it was a handball, not an actual goal.
Fair enough. Then Dennis Bergkamp, 1998 versus Argentina. Oh. You have spot 2, 4, and 5 already filled up. This is either going to be the premier goal or the third goal.
Well, this is an absolute beast of a goal as well. I'm glad that I put Alberto 4. now try to hedge my bets whether you're going to sting me with something better or not. I'll go 3.
Dennis Bergkamp, 1998 versus Argentina on 3. So Archer Gemma was number 2. And Dennis Bergkamp was number 3. Carlos Alberto in 1970 on number 4. And Maradona 1986 versus England on the 5. Then I've got a special one for you. It's Said Al-Ouaraye, 1994 versus Belgium, which is going to be your best goal you've ever seen on a World Championship.
Probably not, but I had to gamble, so.
Which we put in there just to make sure we got some FC fans entertained as well. Mm-hmm. So the full list is Al-Ouaraye, 1994 versus Belgium, Gemmel versus Holland in 1978, Bergkamp, 98 versus Argentina, Carlos Alberto with a wonderful strike, 1970 versus Italy, and Maradona, 1986, the hand of God versus Italy. Or versus England, of course, on number 5. Happy with this one?
Not so much now, but I said that I could have.
I gave you the option to put Bergkamp on top, though.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure that if you were going to sting me with something even better.
Which one do you like on top of your mind? What would be the number 1 for you? Just if you want to name one goal right now.
If I could change it, I'd probably put Bergkamp number 1. But top of my head, best World Cup goal I've ever seen.
We had because Archon was coming on the show, right? I also had a honorable mention or one to put Archon on the spot there. I quite liked Panenka.
Yeah,
but Graeme Neil says I got something else for you. And he says the Boniek Thunderbolt against Belgium in 1982.
That one's a bit before my time. I can't think of that one.
1982 is before your time.
I was born in 86, so it's 4 years before I was even born.
Because that would be too funny to get that on one. It was a great goal, but Panenka's probably best now, first one, I think.
There is that. There's so many goals.
There are so many goals. That is actually true, yeah.
Like you've got Pele against Sweden, Charlton against Mexico. Obviously, you've said Alberto, Hans goal against Italy, Gemmel's, Tardelli. Now that I'm thinking it, Maradona's against Belgium. There's so many good goals, so it's hard to. Matthias against Yugoslavia.
You watched a lot of football, man.
I try to, but yeah. So there's so many good goals. It's hard to pick one.
It's cool that the chat says Zidane versus Leverkusen, but we're talking about World Cup matches, so that's gonna be a little bit hard.
Yeah, that was
also a great goal. All right, on to the main topic of the day in the second half, mate. Because the second half starts right now. And I want to talk about esports. FC Esports. Graeme, we started foot coaching in the peak esports moment during COVID. Lots and lots of matches, broadcasters on national television in the Netherlands. E-Prem was back. We coached national countries. We had quite amazing journeys talking about esports, performing esports, playing tournaments all around the world. Went to Romania with esports. But Graeme, esports in FC, I'm just going to say it, is dead.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead. Other than a few tournaments, it's...
What's going on? Help people that aren't into esports explain a little bit, please.
So we've gone from having leagues all over the world for national leagues, just leagues outward for FC scope, so many different tournaments. And as the years progress, there's nothing in Scotland. The Netherlands have just closed down their league. I've heard some rumours France might be closing theirs down due to the lack of TV money in it. And other than the actual FC Pro Open, which is EA based, there's nothing really left as a tournament. And it's similar in real football to with the Champions League. It's geared around the same big people. There's very little fresh faces coming in at the moment. There's very little in terms of entertainment at the moment. And I think that comes down a lot to production. A lot down to PR, quite a lot of things, but obviously money is one of the biggest things as well. So they've gone from having some good characters, whether you liked them or not, whether you agreed with them or not, to very little characters, if any. The real draw for most people that watch it these days is to put it on mute and gain the rewards for the end game and and then quit back out. It's a mess at the moment.
Why does esports matter? Or why should esports matter to someone like EA or to an FC game? Let's start there. To you. I also have a couple of reasons, but I think you might be on the same line anyways. Why are people listening to the show? Why should they care about esports at all in FC?
This is a hard question because for me, I was one of the people that only technically watched it for the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started, as my hands get worse, I started thinking to myself, well, these guys are the best. There's got to be some basic things that they do that I don't realise. So while it was on, why don't I just give it a quick watch and see what it is that they do that makes them far better than I'll ever be? And then from there, I've just kept watching it because while a lot of the complaints of watching it is what we complain about playing it, obviously it's the same game, so you get a bit annoyed watching the same mechanics being abused or the same glitches happening, that things that put you off. Like, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, Anders got a goal that was clearly offside scored against him, and you're like, but how? For me, I think it does and doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. For making the game more mainstream means more money, more attention. Developers could maybe get more money in making the game better for me, but there's just so many things that it's hard to really cover. But
I'll give you one. They changed the structure of the esports to give the teams, the clubs, more power. Let's put it in power. But basically, now the clubs select the players, and the clubs are more elite in esports, where there used to be organizations in between that made people available for the clubs, right?
Yeah, well, that's quite similar to the E Premier League and the controversy they had recently, because it used to be that you had to play in an open for that team. Mm-hmm. So you'd register yourself for that team, and then you would play against others, and if you won it, you and your teammate won it, usually the two guys that were nominated, or females were nominated, to go play for that team.
Yeah.
But there's, like you said, more club power now, so a lot of the teams link with a professional setup, and they get an automatic one player in straight away. So like Tex was dropped into Leeds this year, rather than Leeds having two people qualify to play for Leeds. So that is quite rife in the pro scene at the moment.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I think one is very important, that if you look at, we work for clubs like PEC Zwolle, which is a rather small club in the Netherlands, but it's a professional club, plays Eredivisie, and the biggest issue they had was getting youth into their stadium, right? Esports, when we managed the esports branch with Home of Esports back then, one of the pillars we built is we need to get youth attached to this esports organization, to get youth to enjoy these esports, because they are playing FIFA back then, and to make sure we get youth back into the stadium and attach them to the club. Esports was perfect for that, because suddenly we had those 14-year to 18-year-old boys and girls being in the stadium, playing FC, qualifying, playing in Eredivisie, playing in the club colors in FUT, for example, to qualify and get attached to the club. Mm. That's gone now, because there's just no stage anymore for them to be in. we had many people qualify for open tournaments. We had like 150 people that came in and just played the whole day. And we said the top 10 gets a shot at the spot, right? There's two things for that. One is we could get maybe one of those insane talents, the next Tex or the next Anders, for example, in, because how else can you find them, right? And the second one was we got 150 minors into the club to enjoy the club, to get them to maybe buy a shirt, become a fan for life, give them a shirt, etc., and make sure they fill the stands in about a dozen years from now. That's heavily underestimated now, and especially when there's no esports on television anymore, or at least in the Netherlands, it's going to be gone. Or when you can't qualify the clubs, we managed many players that went into the Premier League Opens right in the club, like went for Brentford, for example, who prepared for weeks, played like a whole weekend to see if they could make the top 2 or the top 4, to see if they can finally get a spot and be proud to wear club colors for their club, but also be able to show yourself that it's just not only a game you're playing. Again, that's gone, right? And you talked about production. I think a big thing is to do with production, because when you are watching Esports FC anywhere currently, they talk about the cards, they talk about the promotions, but there's two things which you always need to have if you're rooting for someone. You need to have a storyline. You need to back a player for some reason. Like you watch Formula 1 because of the drivers, or you have an attachment to the cars. You watch your club because you have an attachment to the players, but most likely you have an attachment to the club, right? But there's a reason players have fans as well, because you like them as people, you like the storylines they've been through, and you like to follow them through their career. There's no proper way in FC that you are able to follow these players unless you actually know them.
Yeah.
And the production always seems to be skipping the storylines about players. We had tremendous stories. People, like I had a player that was a Feyenoord fan since like his granddad brought him for the first time in the stadium, right? He went into esports and he got a Feyenoord seat. He was actually super happy to be playing for Feyenoord. He played Ajax in the league, and he said there was one thing we should do, and Ajax had like major budgets, rises over Feyenoord by now. One thing I should do, I really want to beat Ajax. That's my target. And he actually cried afterwards, screamed, cried, everything. But that didn't see that actually, because straight after the win, they just went into the next match because there was time for the next match, and you just got to make production. That would make for, I wouldn't say years headlines, but that would make headlines, right?
Yep.
We got James Toland on one of our hosts who has a tremendous story to tell, who would die for a chance to play for Celtic. There's just no chance he'd be able to. And I think the lack of storytelling or the lack of stories for players to follow is one big reason esports seems to fail. And I think the clubs are under realizing the effect a good esports branch can have to attract youth into your stadium.
See, when Rangers, during the big boom, Rangers and Celtic were linked to Konami. So obviously they weren't part of the FC or the old FIFA bubble economy. So Scottish football's so far behind getting into this. And then when they did get into it, the way that if you wanted to play for Rangers, you had to have a match day ticket, go to a fan zone, and then play your games. And then if you won your game, then you would call back to a later date to come back to the fan zone and play again. So the Rangers did have that system in place, but then...
Should still be the other way around, though. Make an open tournament, let them stream it, broadcast it, play in tournament day or two, and then you could win a ticket for Rangers.
Yeah.
And then do that 10 weeks in a row and get those 10 players to a match, which is already a highlight maybe for many people, and then let them play there for a chance to actually be the esports player for Rangers, make it an whole event. And that's not even an expensive event to hold either, because it just streams and give away 10 tickets in total.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard at all, but there's very little... what we would say is they're called Rangers dads, and to be honest, if Rangers were to try and promote it, I don't think many Rangers fans would really care or watch it. So they need to, it's like you said, it's try to figure out how to branch that, get that brick wall knocked down so that there is that, well, he is representing us or they're representing us. There's a lot of things that they need to do. Like you said, the production, like, there's very little stories. Like Nicholas this year was like the big person that they wanted to try and build up as the anti-Anders.
Mm-hmm.
And they done maybe 2 interviews with him, and they were lucky if you were 3 minutes. And you didn't really get to know much about Nicholas at all. Anders, love him or hate him, he's one of the guys that you don't even need to do an interview with him, because during the game he will generate that headline for himself, whether, again, if it's right or wrong, depending on your moral system or whatever. But there is a lot of things that they just don't get right for me. That the whole resilience on 1v1 is good, but I would like to see more, like if it's maybe 2v2s more often, or if you get 11v11, I think that could be more interesting. Like other games can do it, like CSGO, Valorant. The system's in place to do it, so I don't see why FC can't do it. It's not like there's a lack of players.
No, there's not a lack of players, indeed. And just finding the shame, because I think esports is very important, not only for the game, but also for the sports it presents. In this situation, it's going to be very important for football in general. Because don't forget, there's a lot of countries in the world where you can play FC, but it's really hard to actually play football.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's also a lot, talk about inclusivity, Graeme. You spoke about it earlier as well. There's a lot of people in the world that are unable to simply play football physically. But they are perhaps able to play FUT or FIFA FC games physically. And how amazing would it be if these players could also try to represent the club or live a dream of playing an FC, like being a professional esports athlete, right? But it's all about money in the end, of course. And we see people pulling the plug now everywhere. We see EA, well, they talk about big prices, but half of the players that actually play for these are already selected at the start of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a bubble that is starting to collapse. Because this week we've seen PSV Eindhoven's esports scene pulling the plug as well, also saying we're not going to compete next year. There is no competition left, but we're also not holding the club together. If you look at what it's not even my club, right? But if you look at what these guys did for esports, how good their social media content is, how high level their players are actually, how high level their scene is. Like if you go at the stadium, they have a separate room that looks really cool. The streams are high level. There are many clubs that could actually watch those streams and are like, oh, we should make our own football programs look like this, because it's that good. Mm-hmm. And it's all gone. It's all gone away now. And I think losing the accessibility picture there, it's not even all about the money, but maybe, it's always say you play professional sports for money and fame. Even without the money, you can still have fame. You can still put that on for people, right? And pride. And I think it's just a shame. I think the general level of esports, like FIFA players, is going down already. But I think it's getting worse if people don't have the I say that it makes it hard. Like, I don't know. You probably know what I'm saying. I find it hard to see it go away. Maybe even maybe that's just my sadness all about it. We've coached the national team of Belgium, right, for years. These guys were really good. These guys were tremendous facilities. The sponsor pulled the plug because it's not broadcasted to many people, not enough people, and that's it. We've seen with FUT. There's a lot of teams that just went down.
Yep.
But acknowledgement, I think it's acknowledgement. It says in chat as well. I think acknowledgement it's important. And if you look at Great Britain or United Kingdom, you see there's a lot of BTEC colleges about esports. Mm-hmm. They don't play FIFA.
No, it's League of Legends.
League of Legends, Rocket League. because there you have like a steady, how you say it? There is a steady line in where you could go into. Yeah, you start at home with your console. This is the rank you should get. If you get this rank, you play in a tournament. If you play in a tournament and you make it this level, you play in a league. And after that, you could be selected for a team, or you could go on the main stages or the World Cup, whatever. It's not. There's not such a thing in esports anymore in FIFA, and I just don't get it, because it is, simply put, still the biggest sports in the world, and you lose half of the people, half of the young people. You lose because you could. This is like the most frustrating part about this is Ultimate Team is actually a really cool thing for this.
Yeah,
we've played tournament with the Eredivisie where they said, okay, you just have to play your own team, but we put it all on 90 mode or 95 mode, I think it's called, something like that. Where we play PAX Zwolle versus Feyenoord, but these players all look the same. But they're original name players, original kids. It was really good to watch. The level was high. They played each other for like 12 weeks in a row. It was a tremendous level. It was very close. Everyone that said that's not happening, I don't want to be that guy, but the Dutch did win the World Cup time after time after time after time. And I think that is because of that league, because they had to perform every single week. Right? I think in 2 years, if there is still an esports left, I think the World Championship in 2 years doesn't mean much, except you were in the right place at least and played along among the best 10 levels. It's like Formula 1, but you got half the drivers. Of course, the best one will probably still win the World Championship, but there's a big chance the best driver actually didn't make it that far. I think it's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame, because I know most kids want to grow up and be rich, famous, successful. But my wee boy would love to be either a professional Minecraft player or a professional Rocket League or a professional Fortnite player. That's his free games that he watches on YouTube, all these different players and everything. We just don't have the same thing in FC, but the appeal to younger kids isn't there. That he watches wee boys that are 14, 13, 15 earning 2-3 million at Fortnite, and he was asking me the other day, does anybody in the FC ever get that much? I was like, there's only 2 people that have actually made £1 million or $1 million all in so far. That they've only just recently broke that bracket. And he's like, seriously? And I was like, yeah. So like you said, there's the money, a lot of things are just not in the right place for it to be successful, which is a shame.
Yeah, because everything's there. You got the network, you've got you should have the funding, right? Be honest, let's be honest about that. And you have the biggest sports on earth in the world to do something with. Right? But the production, I think if we summarize it, I think the production isn't good enough. They talk about the promos instead of giving everyone tips on how to play. They in halftime they play games, while they also could analyze the games and show people what's going on and talk tactics. It's even the part when you look with Robo Wars, right? You see those 2 robots crashing into each other. Halfway through, they're like, "Oh, this robot gets underneath him. That should be his new tactic. Just swipe him up on underneath." And like in the second part of that match, you are watching if that robot's actually going to do that. There's none of that in FUT.
This year in the FC Pro, they've done a thing with Hashtag House. So Harry and Schwarry have done. They get like that table that they have on like Monday Night Football and Sky, where they start breaking down wee things. But it's nowhere near the level that.
I have to applaud that. That has been better this year.
It's nowhere near the level that's needed, and a lot of it, most of the time, it's centered around the meta gimmick. So player lock from a player lock header from a corner. It's not teaching you the things that you would teach at FUT coaching, like the core fundamentals that will make you the better player. It's like, here's how to do the reverse elastical cancel into a ball feint, something that most people won't be able to do straight away. And the time that they show you just isn't enough time to show you how to learn it basic, never mind master it. So that's a small step in the right direction, but it's still not fully the direction they should be going for me. But it's something, but I think it's a little too late in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a shame because I do think the way it was really good, and I do think there's just so much potential to just write it off. And not only do I don't like the fact it's going away or it's actually dying, maybe it's dead already, but I do think there's the two major reasons for the club to be interested in this. One, it will bring kids to your or younger players towards your stadium. And that's not to be underestimated. I mean, in the Premier League, that goes automatically, basically, right? I get that. But when you go into the Scottish League, when you go into the Eredivisie, the local clubs, which are still big clubs, it's hard for them to fill stadium. If you live at Zwolle, for example, many youth in Zwolle will go to Ajax because that's not even that much further away. And actually, that's a big club that can win prizes. So you want to get those kids in your stadium because in 10 years, your stadium will be all filled because they're all at Ajax.
Yeah.
And I think esports has the potential for clubs to at least attract them and engage them, be feeling a part of this club. I think that's one of the reasons why people should care, clubs should care about esports disappearing and should be investing in esports because longer term it's very important. The second thing is, like I said, inclusivity. I just hate the fact that the biggest sports on earth, everyone should be allowed to enjoy that one way or another. And of course, you can watch it always, right? And you can, but if you can't play it, FC is like the second best thing to actually do with this sports. I mean, you're the leading example of that, Graeme.
Mm-hmm.
And so is James, right? And I think, well, so is me on my age, but that's a different, that's a different story. And I don't think we should underestimate that. And maybe I live in a dream world, I know, but I do think that should never be underestimated. So,
well, the IOC is talking about bringing esports into the Olympic. I don't know what they would call it, but bringing esports into the games. So hopefully, maybe FC is something that they pick up, where we have the actual national team football, like we always do, which is like the under-21s, isn't it? And then we have FC as the esports side of it at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And maybe that can help, maybe restart a new push towards it. But we just need IOC to vote it in.
I don't think it gets much less views than bobsledding, honestly.
I don't think it would get much less views than most of the sports. Like there's some sports that, no disrespect to the athletes, that they are highly talented, but there's a lot of them that I wouldn't turn it on to watch. So if the IOC could get something like an FC in it, it would be an interesting thing to watch, especially because then if they can do the production wise of like the rivalries between the nations and everything, that the players, like I said, that production level could really kickstart something.
Tell the stories about the players, guys.
Yep. That we have Anders, who's probably one of the biggest characters, and if they just really told the stories about him better, I think he could drive a lot of people, like Zlatan did, either the right way or the wrong way, but he's still going to drive people towards the game and viewership. There's so many talented players that you could focus on. It's a shame they don't.
True, definitely true. Well, that's all we're going to say about the topic, because it's time for the, after match, after talk. Graeme, what's left for you to discuss, my friend? Which big plans coming up, or?
Big plans, just getting prepared to come to Crete in May.
Which you are playing a tournament which will be highly produced, just saying.
As long as my hands hold up, I'll bring my straps like I normally do. I've got the suitcases down. Rachel forced me into doing the last bit of shopping there, so looking forward to that. And just grinding away at the game. Obviously, like we said, this promo's not the greatest, so I won't be grinding as much, but I'll still be playing. What about yourself?
I ordered the special edition kits for Crete just now. So Crete is about a month away. We start May the 11th, I think, to May the 15th. If you want to join, just check out patreon.com/FUT We have a couple of days left when you hear this, where you can still be a part of it. Just a friendly reminder, you have to buy your own tickets, but your hotel will be done for us. So you don't have to pay for that. And of course, breakfast is included. And we have some special events prepared for doing on the spot, including one thing I'm really looking forward to, and hasn't even got anything to do with food, but the dad joke drinking game we're gonna do as well in the bar. Maybe even every night. We'll see how far we can get that going. We'll make a lot of content about it, and if you're on the Patreon, you will definitely get those pop-ups, notification, and maybe even live streams when we are there as well. For the rest, I'm just going to enjoy the good weather. It's finally getting warmer. That means I can actually go outside and again. That's about it, probably. But leaves us, Graeme. We just went one thing left to do, and that is to say goodbye to everyone. See you next week. And remember, give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcast. That helps us out a whole lot. And for now, just one thing left for us to do, and that is to drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it.
T.
F U
T.
F F F U
T.
F
U T
T.
T. Interview.
F
U
T.